It's an author of a book we read in book club.
Hi, everybody. This is Kathy L. Murphy, the Pulpwood Queen, and I am really excited because tonight I'm here with a bunch of girls that have been coming to my girlfriend weekend and that have written a book about a book club. And this is the most wonderful book. I've got it right here in front of me. It's a Pulpwood Queen Book Club selection. It's called Novel Women, and it's Between Friends Book Club. And so tonight we're going to get to hear all about their book, and we're going to get to hear some inside stories. So I'm going to introduce first the other Kim that's here tonight. Kim is one of the book club members, and she's going to introduce all the women that are part of this book. Hi, Kim. Wave your hand.
Hi.
Go ahead.
So my name is Kim Harwanto, and our book club, Between Friends, wrote a book about a book club. And we started our book club in 2004 because we love reading. We never had anybody to talk about it, whatever we read. So we started a book club, and we've had so much fun. The great thing about book club is you can read a book and then you have somebody to talk about it, but the next thing you know, you're talking about your life and you're sharing and you're empathizing, and it's just a wonderful experience. Book club is a wonderful experience. And then I dragged or the other members of the book club into writing a book with me. One of the things we discovered as a book club is our age group is underrepresented in the books. They're very underrepresented. So we decided to write a book club about our age group and us. And none of these stories are about us, but they are stories that happen to people. They're real stories. They're not over the top, insane psycho person comes and kills somebody. They're just real life type of stories. And these lovely book club people were agreed to go on this journey with me. And we've had a lot of fun. So let me introduce the other writers. Denise, wave your hand. Jean, Patty.
Hi.
And Fran. And together, I wrote 2 of the chapters, and Denise and Jean and Patty and Fran all wrote their own characters. So we have our own characters. And then we, pulled it together in book club. Because if you're friends, you don't see each other every day, but you see each other a lot. And it's what happens to the women. This one is more romantic. The next one is a little grittier. It's what happens to us, what really does happen to us, not us individually, but women our age. So my characters were Stacy and Bree, and I wanted one true romance, so that was Stacy's. And Bree is the book club. She started the book club. She's the mother hen, and even her perfect life isn't so perfect. And it's going to get even worse in book 2. So, Denise, you want to tell about Tess?
So my character is named Tess, and Tess and I are very similar, although Tess has a little bit more fun life sometimes in the book than what I do. And Kim she convinced all of us to go on this journey with her. And I think it's been about 8 years now, hasn't it? Something like that we actually got together and had our first conversation. My character Tess is just kind of a down-to-earth person. I think she's the oldest in the book. So she's probably in her early 50s. And she has a very dry sense of humor, a dry wit. And it's just kind of what happens to all of us. All of the compilation of the book is pretty much what happens to us as part of life, and the curves that are thrown, and how friendship helps us continue to actually make it through and pass those curves and onto the straightaway and all of that. So you know, I'm sure that you have more questions, but I'll turn it over to Jean.
Okay, thank you. My character is Hannah, and she's the youngest of the group. She's in her early 40s, and she has 2 young children. So she also has a husband who is a workaholic and travels a ton. So not only are her kids so overcommitted with activities, you know, something that we've all been maybe a little guilty of, but that combined with her husband's absence has kind of made her vulnerable to some attentions of someone. So I won't say more about that, but she really enjoys book club because it's kind of a different community of friends for her. You know, their kids are older and she looks to them as wise women. And I feel that her friendship with them is really helps her a lot, especially with what she's going through. So that's about it. She's very stressed out and, you know, high energy. And in the first book, in the second book, she has something that happens in her life that kind of makes her switch gears a little bit. But that's Hannah in a nutshell. Patty, would you like to go?
Hi, my character Charlotte. She went through a traumatic divorce, which if you've been divorced, they're all traumatic, but it's how she's coping and moving on. And she really didn't want to have any kind of a commitment because of what happened in the divorce. And it's just the trials and tribulations of moving forward. And book club, like the book itself, it's great to, as the girls have said, it's a great place to communicate and get cheered on and buckled up and helping hand in your mentality of moving forward. So it was a great experience, and it's a lot of fun. And we'll see where Charlotte ends up. Franny.
Hi guys. My character was Ava, and aside from all these beautiful blondes, I was the suburban hot Latina in the group. And my story, in the middle of my story, or I should say in the beginning of my story, I have a husband that I find out has some extracurricular activities, and I won't go into anything else other than that, but the story is about that journey, how I find out and how I overcome it to some extent, to the most extent. And it's kind of similar. Is it close to my life? Not exactly, but I did go through a divorce. Actually, I wrote this story before I even started a divorce, right? And funny how things work out, but it's been a great journey with my friends, and the friends and the girls helped me through it in the story, and book 2 gets even a little spicier than that. So you'll have a little sprinkling of Spanish and carambas here and there. But just to add some flavor and color to our normal, suburban lives, I guess. And that was it. It was fun. It was a lot more fun. I didn't expect to love this as much as I have. Dragged us.
Well, I love the book because first of
you.
all, running the Pulpwood Queens now for 20, going on 21 years, it's funny. We all join book clubs because for me, I always wanted to be in a book club. And then I was invited for the local book club. And at the end of the meeting, they told me I couldn't join. I was just a guest. So that's why I started the Pulpwood Queens. Yeah, it's going to be in my next book. I decided to tell the story. But we all start because we want to discuss it with other people. Because there's nothing worse than reading a book and then, I want to tell somebody about it. So you gather a group of people, or like for me, I just put the word out in the Jefferson Gemplicute. I was starting a book club, and I told all my clients, my friends, and 6 complete strangers showed up.
Wow.
And what's amazing about it that I've learned in this almost 21 years is that a lot of these women I never would have picked for my friends because we didn't run in the same circles or they lived out of town. But what I found through the sharing of the stories of the books, and then of course you share your own stories at your book club meetings, I found that these women were the ones that took me to the hospital when I had to have surgery. They're the ones that brought me home. They're the ones that when I was going through the heartache of a divorce, what do you need, Kathy? How can we help you? It's important that this community that we've created with, you know, the New Jersey Pulpwood Queens and the Pulpwood Queens across the world now, because we're an international book club, is that we're connecting through our stories, our shared experiences, even though we all come from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, we all have the same basic wants and needs. So your book fit the ticket perfectly. And the other thing I loved about your book so much is all of a sudden I'm going, oh, so they read Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood.
Oh, yeah.
The very first book we read was by Rebecca Wells. And look, they're talking about The Paris Wife by Paula McLean. And I'm going, oh my gosh, these are Pulpwood Queens. Now, did you guys know that these books were on my list? I did.
No.
I knew you didn't, because there's a few on there that I have not read. I didn't read any of the, you know, Shades of Grey, or though I sold a lot of the copies of those books that I have my books for. But I love that you have book references throughout your book.
Yeah.
It makes it very real, because they had a show on television called the Tuesday Night Book Club. It lasted one night.
Wow.
And they had girls get on there and they started talking about books, and it was very obvious they didn't know what they were talking about.
Right.
So I wrote to the, I immediately sent off a letter to the, because our book club always met on Tuesday night. I said, this isn't even real. This is just a farce, because first of all, real women don't act like this.
No.
And they don't read the books that you're talking about. First of all, so many of them were so old and dated. It never aired. It aired one show. I guess so many people threw a fit, they took it off. But through the years, I've picked a lot of books about book clubs. Lorna Landvik, who
we read that.
Angry Housewives Eating
Yes,
Box
we read that.
I actually read that book on the way taking my Pulpwood Queens to Europe. And we went to in Italy, and I bought it at the airport because it was funny to me because, you know, husbands they don't really know what to say when you say you're having book club meeting. It's kind of a legitimate way.
Right, to get out.
Drink some wine and
drink wine.
It's just like, you know, I know a group of guys that always say that they're going to the library for, they're going to the bar. Okay, they're going to the bar. But you know, it starts out that way and it kind of goes back and forth, because even though we don't take ourselves very seriously, I certainly don't with all the crazy outfits that I put on, but I do take the books I read very seriously.
Yes, so do we.
I know you do. And there's no reason why we can't have fun and downtime. I don't know about you guys, but were your mother in bridge clubs? And they had all these social clubs back in the day that I remember as a little kid setting up the card tables in the living room for bridge club. And they would drink in the middle of the day, old fashioned. I mean it. They had a little bridge mix on one corner and a little mixed nuts on the other, and then they'd have these drinks. And I bust the tables. And I remember I would take the old-fashioned glasses back to the kitchen, and I'd eat the orange, and it was so tasty. Whiskey in it, you know. That's so bad of me. But
and you always knew you weren't getting a good dinner that night when your mom had
for sure. But I admired them, and that's why I picked the book The Help, because
Yes, great
Yeah.
book.
that
Great
was
book.
Catherine Stockett. You know,
Yeah.
I had a wonderful conversation with her in Atlanta during SIBA about her book, and that was a great story. But we've read a lot. We've got another book coming on board called The Gumbo Sisters, about a group of women who all get together in New Orleans and they make gumbo.
That
And
sounds like fun.
well, yeah, and I'm going, man, I like to make gumbo. But I picked a lot of books through the years, and it's somebody said, well, if you've read one book about a book club, you've read no. How many series on television are about hospitals?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or police officers,
Right.
or crime, or lawyers. And I think, you know, each book club is as unique as the, you know, where they are and
Yeah.
what part of the country they're in. But we connect by our similarities, but we also celebrate our differences. And with the Pulpwood Queens, it's really important to me that everybody makes it their own. And
Right.
so even though we wear hot pink and leopard print, you can do anything you want with that look. You can have your hair, you know, the higher the hair, the closer to God. You can wear wigs, you can do whatever you want. It's just that we do not, as women, get enough time for play.
No, we don't.
Yeah. Well,
We do
And
not.
we feel guilty when we do play.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why the book club is important. It gives us recess from life.
Right.
And so we get to play, we get to dress up once a year, we get to have these conversations. And I say, you know, power to the women back, because it's time. And I think this is the year, you guys. We've seen a lot of changes this past year. But you do have a new book coming up. And
Yes.
of course, we all want to know the story, how it continues. And for those of you that are going to be listening, because this is going to go up on their YouTube channel and my YouTube channel, the Kathy L. Murphy, after this is over, so people can have watch parties. Is there anything any of you would like to talk about the new book, the surprises, maybe not giving anything away, but what makes us want to read this next book? What are you going to tease me with?
Okay, so the next book the first book is in the summer. The second book is in the fall, winter, and the last book, it's a trilogy, is in the spring. And it's really almost a year in the life of these women. They're all in their 50s, except for Hannah, she's a little younger. And it's kind of what happens to us in real life. And it's really about friendship. It's about love, because we all want to be loved, but it's also about friendship. I don't have a big family in my life. My friends are my family. So they have been so important to me. And I've always felt so close to women. I work well with women. I love women. I'm married, happily married, but without my friends, I'd be so lost. And book club is just a wonderful way to just embrace that. So we try to pull more of the friendship angle into this. We help each other a lot more. And Madeline, who was the little bit of the antagonist in the first book, is now going to have her own chapters. We had so many people asking us about Madeline, and you're going to find out why she's such a bitch. I had so many people ask me about her, and why didn't we do one about her? And so we're bringing her into it. And it's really, you know, like how much stuff happens to you in the course of a month, right?
Oh my
And
God.
we all get through it, how to stand up for each other, and how I've always said this: if women got rid of their petty jealousies, we would rule the world.
It's so true. It's so true, because, you know, I'm always amazed at when we get together at Girlfriend Weekend, our annual convention, it's like family reunion time. You know, it's so much fun. And now I've got all my friends coming that I grew up with in my hometown, because they've been watching me do this. And now they're starting to come, and and this year I had a lot of family come, and they go, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. My cousin Terry, I don't know if any of you got to talk to Terry, but he was, I see him all the time talking to all the authors, and it makes me so happy when I see authors talking to authors or reviewing other authors. And it's just, you guys are really, your approach to your book club and doing this book is so smart, because not only are you sharing with the world why it's important to have book club and these relationships, but you're also creating these books that'll be a legacy for your families, you know,
Right.
to know who more about, you know, their moms or their sisters or their aunts or, you know, or their daughters, whatever, wives. It's just a really unique, you know, there's thousands and thousands of book clubs. And I think in Dallas alone, there's like 3,000 or 4,000 book clubs. And I think I've started 45 there. 45.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, they're not all running
That's a
because,
lot.
you know, but they get started and then they get busy with their lives, and, you know, it ebbs and flows. And right now we're up because I started with the help of Brooke Bradley and Paul Roberson. We started the Pulpwood online book club. Little did we know COVID was going to happen.
Right.
We
right.
hit this at just the right time because it just has exploded. And every Thursday night we, you know, have these meetings. So then, like you guys did with your book club, you started this book club. Kim, were you the one that actually started it?
Yes.
Yeah. And because you wanted to be with girls, did you know these girls when you started?
Yes, I knew all of them through different places. So Denise and my daughter were competitive cheerleaders. And
No, my daughter was, and your daughter, not me.
Yeah, well, yeah. Our daughters didn't get that.
I don't think
out
anybody
fast
want to
enough.
see that.
You know, Patty and I have been friends since high school. Franny and I, our daughters were friends. Jean is my neighbor, and we're friends, kids growing up. So so there's 11 of us in book club. These are the only people I could rope into writing the book, but
Rope she did.
and rope I roped.
Last one, man. You know what? You've done an excellent job at 11.
And you know what we did at the end of, so if we have book club, I write a little review about what our book club liked about that book, and I put it on our Between Friends book club website. So it's not to make money, it's not to do anything, but I thought if other book clubs, how did we like that book? So I'll tell you, we all have our favorite books, and some of us, sometimes a book resonates with all of us, and that's the best book club night, when every one of us likes it.
Well, I would like to know what each one of you's favorite book that you've read is. I would like to know that.
Mine is probably Trinity by Leon Uris.
Oh, I haven't read that.
That goes way back. That's probably my favorite book, but I love Memoirs of a Geisha.
Yeah, Arthur Golden's one of my favorites too.
I loved Every Last One by Anna Quinlan. I mean, that was
My favorite.
a great book. Go ahead, guys. I'm talking too much.
Who's next? Denise?
Well, interestingly enough, really one of my favorite ones is one if you told me I had to read it, I would say it would not be my favorite, and that is Pillars of the Earth.
Yeah.
That was a great book.
Great book.
Which is like 1,300 pages.
Oh, good. You won't get mad at me at one of the books I'm picking this year.
Well, it was just so fascinating because the information, and it was just, who knew that the Middle Ages could have been so hot and randy out there, because it's
well, if you've watched these new ones, Outlander, woo!
Yeah.
Oh, Jamie.
That was creative. Very creative.
Yeah. Okay. Jean, you want to go next? What's your favorite?
Yeah, Kim actually mentioned it. We read it a while ago. Anna Quinlan's Every Last One. Is that the correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say it was really enjoyable or uplifting, but just it really stuck with me. I don't know why.
It's kind of like Memoirs of a Geisha. I couldn't believe a man wrote that.
Yeah, that was beautiful,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I mean,
Beautiful.
I kept saying, a man wrote this.
Yeah.
That was great. Okay, Patty.
I'm terrible with memory and specific titles, but I'm a huge murder mystery fan. That's my genre. Kimmy and I are both
Yeah, we both
love
like them.
Oh, I've picked some good ones through the years. Crimes in the Neighborhood. If you have not read that book, you won't be able to put it down.
Oh, I'm gonna get it. Crimes in the Neighborhood.
Crimes in the Neighborhood is one of
I'm
our.
writing it.
If you've ever read any, what's her first name? Her last name is Hitchcock. Any book, it's not Alfred Hitchcock. It's a totally different Hitchcock. But a woman has written this amazing books. Oh man, Church of the Dead Girls. Oh my gosh, if you haven't read Church of the Dead Girls, it's really by Stephen Dobbins. It's really great. But I like all kinds of books, but those are, and if you guys have read our book of the month this month, Grady Hendrix's book, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Vampire Hunting.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hote of the Pat Conroy Center gave me that book, signed to me from Grady, and said he really wants you to read this book. And I go, what is this? What is this? And it starts out like every book club you've ever known, but something clicks in. And he wrote that as a tribute to his mom's book club. If he was on Breathless Bubbles and Books, he'll be back December 22nd. We're going to be doing the online book club with him. The guy thinks so outside the box. I mean, yike, it was really good. But I love suspense books. And if you like suspense books too, you should watch Indian films, because I watched one last night that just blew me away. We'll talk later. Email me, and I will tell you about this film I watched that was from India that had me on the edge of the seat. I hardly slept all night. Couldn't quit.
Wow.
Guy with a multiple personality.
Oh God.
He was really stuttering one way, and the next minute he was like a murderer, and it was like,
oh my God.
It was so good. But okay, Fran, you wanted to, is it Fran or Francis?
Yes.
Franny?
Fran works. Yep.
Okay.
Believe it or not, from long ago, Woman's Room. It was Marilyn French. For me, it was my coming of age story way back when in the 70s, late 70s. And it opened up a whole different world to me.
See, I was reading Carlos Castaneda books back in the 70s when I was lifeguarding out the state park. I was
reading Sidney Shelton, remember?
That one too. That's
love story.
Valley of the Dolls. Oh my, love story. All those were great. But my reading tastes have just not really changed so much through the years. They've just expanded. Mm-hmm. And so when you see my list this year, it's the best list.
Oh, that's great.
Because I've got 12 books that we're going to be reading, our bonus books.
Right.
Because we're now an international book club and in 15 foreign countries. I've picked 12 international.
That's great.
And you guys, these are so good. I can't even tell you.
That is wonderful. Wonderful.
I got like 8, 9 books yesterday. Oh gosh, they're right in front of me. And I just, I think the more people are learning about us, the more it's expanding out. So I am really excited that you guys are still with us, the Jersey Girls. And
Jersey Girls.
I have I invited an author I just met. It was the weirdest thing. On the night we're supposed to do the Breathless Bubbles and Books thing, Linda Rosen, she lives in New Jersey. Okay. She came on board and Breathless wasn't able to show up because they didn't have any power or internet. So I go, well, Linda, so you're an author. She got a full interview because she's the only one that showed up. And she said she was from Jersey. And I said, oh my gosh, have I got some girls you need to meet? And she's an author. I bet they'd love to have you. So she's sending me her book. Her name
that's great.
Linda Rosen, Rosen. And then, of course, Laurel Davis Huber is who wrote the Velveteen daughter, is in Rumson, New Jersey. I have a lot of New Jersey friends. And, when I traveled up there, I didn't know you guys very well. I had Tawana with me and we went up there to deliver a painting. I have never been so shocked in my life because all I hear about New Jersey is Jersey Shore, you know, the
Right.
housewives.
Ugh.
And, you know, so I didn't know what to expect. And two things happened that totally surprised me. First of all, I got in trouble pumping gas.
Oh, yeah.
Man just
Yeah.
come running at me and he was going, stop. And I go, what? And he goes, do not pump your gas. And I go, why? Did I put diesel? I didn't know what. And Tawana's going, huh? And he goes, only we can pump your gas. And I go,
Yeah.
where have you been all my life? And he
Jersey girls don't
I
pump.
was gonna say, Jersey
And
girl.
it was so funny. I said, can I get my picture with you? By the time we were done, we were arms around each other. We were taking pictures. And I said, come to Texas because I got to pump my own gas, you know. So that was one big surprise. The other one was we went into that station to get a drink or whatever. And Tawana goes, look at these hats over here. They got some really cool hats. And I go, at the gas station? So we go over there and they got a store. And I go, they've got bamboo sheets. This is so crazy. And I said, how much are they? Because when I was in the Bahamas, they were like expensive. Okay. So I said, how much are these sheets? And she goes, $40. And I go, let's get them. They're the best sheets I ever bought, and I got them at a gas station in New Jersey. So, and they're teal. I love them. They're just soft as butter. I got them at a gas station, but Laurel's house was right there, just a block from the ocean.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's just amazing. So, you know, if I get back up that way, I'm coming to see you girls. You know,
All right. We'll go to our book club.
let's just pray that we get back out.
I do.
I am not a cat that likes to be kept in a cage. So I am just excited about your new book.
Yes, we're getting
what
there.
we've got to do for 2021 is everybody that's listening, even though we're not having a formal in-person meeting with Girlfriend Weekend, we're going to have a Zoom-a-thon. And I've decided it's going to be a pajama party all weekend. We're going to wear pajamas.
That's easy.
Popcorn.
Pigtails.
Yeah, pigtails.
Pigtails.
We're going to have fun with it. We're going to, like, you know, gidget, you know. And so we're all going to have this. You all will be a panel. We'll just have you.
That would be so much fun.
And it would be really fun if we can get your other members at least on so we can see your faces, you know.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be a lot of fun.
You can make that your book club meeting.
That would be a lot of fun.
So take pajamas. You can have a theme. It's going to be January, so, you know, you can have little snow bunnies or full snowflakes.
That would be a great idea.
But
our
it's
little
gonna be a
pig
lot
and
of
our
fun.
tiaras.
And our tiaras with our pigtails.
Right.
Well, I can't do a pigtail, but I can do a tiara.
You can do extensions.
I'm gonna have trouble
Patty.
pulling them up.
When I went on
There you go.
Good Morning America, Diane Sawyer says, Kathy, could you have big pageant hair, beauty queen hair? And my hair was this long. It was bleach blonde, kind of a spiky pixie thing. And I said, well, you know, that's about as big as it gets. And she said, oh, please, can you have big hair? And so I thought, how can I do that? I put little pigtails all over my head, and Raquel Welch makes these hair you wear clip-on hair pieces. And so I just, on every one of those pigtails, I clipped, and I just kept building it and building it and put a tiara.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what a
And
good
even
idea.
on the original
Patty.
cover of my book, my hair was like this long, and everybody thought I had, you know,
Long hair.
And so, you know, it's all illusion, you know.
Right.
We can create, you know, when we're having this interview tonight, you know, I'm working in the studio all day today, and I have paint all over me and everything. I run in the house to get ready because this is the only thing I have to dress up for, is to be with you girls and to be on this, because I haven't been out of this place in a long time. And so I, as a kid, my best friend Heidi, who comes to Girlfriend Weekend, that did the fashion show with all the clothes, we always played dress up. We played monster too, which was, we played in dress up and I was usually the monster, and I'd try to catch them and they had to run slow because they had their mom's prom dresses.
Right.
And they were easy to catch because they were always tripping over them. And then I'd tie them to a tree. It's so weird, the things you do in Kansas. But we like to play dress up. And so we like to have fun reading. But I'm very serious about your book. This is a great book, everybody.
Do you want to see a picture of CNN?
Yes, and that's the next thing I was going to ask about. So I have been
that or
in
no?
book club for 20 years, and I've never been on CNN. They
This is
write
my
one
living room.
book, and they get on CNN. So tell us about that story.
So here's, this is my living room, and there is Allison Camerata, and you see all the people. Can you see that or no?
Yes.
Good for you. Good
And
for you.
here we all are. This is Summer Book Club and her people, right? And then I said, because we went on to talk about the midterm elections, and I said, I'd only do it if you plugged our book. And there she is, plugging our book.
That's great.
And I have to do one more thing. This beautiful cover was done by that woman right next to me, Denise. Denise is a photojournalist, and she's doing novel women too. This is my glass, my kitchen. That's Fran in the background.
It is you.
Yeah.
I shot that at a book club meeting. And
And we're going to tell everybody that's breathless wine in that glass, okay?
Okay, sounds
Breathless
good.
Wine is our official partner. They won Winery of the Year in Sonoma County, California, and they pair our books with their award-winning wine. They were just featured in Forbes magazine.
There you go.
So
that was definitely them.
And here we have a wine glass ready for them.
That's right.
We just shot the cover this past weekend for
Denise shot too.
Oh, do we have the new cover yet to show?
No, not yet.
No,
We got two wine glasses for novel
two
women too.
Well, that's smart.
This one has Fran and Kim in it.
Yes.
Well,
And
what are
two
you going to
glasses
do
for
if you
two.
write 12 of these? Or you can get all the
No, we're only doing 3. I can't keep them in any longer.
Well, do that. I want you to look at my chandelier in my kitchen. It's all wine glasses. Do you see
I
it?
love it.
It's all wine glasses. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
I got that for me, and then I got one for my sister who has the wine bar, restaurant in Jefferson. But yeah, that was at Pottery Barn. I got that at Pottery Barn. So anyway, nothing wrong with having a little wine with your great reads. So we're going to have the girls all the authors from Novel Women are going to be on Breathless Bubbles and Books the second week of November. So order your Breathless wines, get your wine glasses out. I like that one. That one's so cute. Are these hand painted?
You know where they came from is Pier 1, which is no longer around. Another store that bit the dust. I loved Pier 1.
Yeah, we did.
We used to go in there when things would go on sale, like buy one. So I have all these different glasses, all different flowers, all different, because I'd go in and buy. I just love them. We'd use them for book club.
Well, World Market has neat ones too. So we'll just have to go to World Market since Pier 1, which reminds me, independent bookstores everywhere are suffering right now for everybody listening to this. So for any of you that need to get our books, all the 2020 are up at www.bookshop.org/shop/the Pulpwood Queen Shop. And the reason why I did that is this benefits all the independent bookstores all over the country. So we want to help keep our local independents up. And I know a lot of them had me in for when my first book came out. And I just hate to see a bookstore struggle. I mean, mine has since closed. And yeah, I'm sad every day that I miss my Beauty in the Book. But do shop bookshop.org, and if you do shop/the the Pulpwood Queen shop. It's got all my books listed for this year, and I'll soon have December 1st. I'm going to have them all up, and we'll get this book on there. And
Great.
then when your new one comes out, we'll get in on there too.
That's
So
super.
we're excited about everything these girls are doing. So, okay, so you've got,
Just a female power.
woo, go girls. So we've got 1 and 2. What are we going to do in the spring?
Woohoo.
Well, in the spring, all the stories. So, you know, all right. So in book 2, Bree goes back to work. She hasn't worked in 20 years. What could possibly happen?
She doesn't know the technology. Yeah, it could be crazy. I was hoping you'd say one of them got pregnant. It was a miracle.
That would be great.
So,
Years, Jean.
Hannah's sister has breast cancer, so we take on a little bit more meatier topics. And you know what? We decided that men don't always rule relationships, so we're taking on some of those old stereotypes also.
It's kind of like the First Wives Club, huh? So, you know, well, you know, it's the wonderful thing about this world is that even though there has been an imbalance for some time, and it's now finally starting to equal out. We've got a long ways to go, people.
Yes,
but
we do.
It's about balance, and this is what and common sense. You know, nobody wants to rule over anybody. I am not the leader of the Pulpwood Queen in per se, the queen as you think of queen. I'm basically the one that started this to empower all of us to share the responsibility of growing the book club, growing Girlfriend Weekend. The bigger we become, the more we get bigger authors to come to us. So it's about, I'm a team player.
Right,
you know,
me too.
when I was in high school, you know, I wasn't the cheerleader. I wasn't the president of the class, but I was a student council representative because I was always the one that liked to work behind the scenes, doing the marketing and the promotion and getting everything going. And, but secretly, I will tell you that when we were seniors, we were tired of all the guys running stuff. So every one of us that was on an organization, we let all the guys vote for president, vice president, but then when it came time for student council representative, we nominated a girl and made sure she got it. So when we went to student council, it was an all-girls student council, and they didn't even see it coming. It was like amazing. And you know, it's still funny to me that we pulled it off. But we had a plan, and that's what we did. So, and everybody knows student council is what runs everything, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So we had a good time. And so girls, I want you to share with me something about your philosophy in life, or something that we can take away from your experience that has changed your lives forever. Think about a little bit and jump in whenever you can. But what amazing story that you guys decide to write a book together, and you're all still friends.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Was there any testy times, girls?
No.
No, not that you'll admit.
No.
Not that we're kissing and telling.
Oh, well, you know, there's a lot of people that do, you know, James Patterson for years has run series of men's writing his books. You know, he does the outline, they write the books, he puts the finishing touches. He gets 8 books out a year. So no telling what you girls could do. 3? Why not a dozen? I mean, you know.
Well, we're just waiting for the Hallmark Channel to come knock on our door.
Aren't we
It's
all?
a perfect Hallmark thing.
It is a perfect Hallmark story. And I'll tell you, the one thing about Lucid House Publishing, you guys need to know this, is that with every one of our books, we're pitching for film. And our first book that came out, Spellbound Under the Spanish Moss, which will be our January book club selection, we pitched and we optioned to film, and it's green lighted. Script is being written. It's going to Disney Animation.
Good.
Oh,
That's
Come
great.
out of the chute
Awesome.
really good.
Awesome.
I mean, and our second book is Dave Spinato's book, and he has a documentary coming out that is just going to blow you away. We really feel like reading is the best entertainment in the world. Why not? That's the stories we want to see, right?
yeah.
I mean, they keep, you know, putting out all these Marvel comic book stuff. Women want to see stories about women they can relate to, and finally it's happening. So I'm pretty thrilled about the way, the direction the world is coming if we look at the big picture.
Right.
Right now, we need to bring back good manners, civility, and quit hating and being mean
Yeah,
to each other.
I agree.
I mean, there is no sense in, it used to be when I was from the time I was young, I used to go to my best friend's house because she came from a family of attorneys and all boys, and they loved to debate. And so everything was discussed, politics, religion, everything.
Wow.
But they never fought. They just would, you know, it was like debate, you know?
Right.
And it was so civil, and it didn't hurt any that their dad looked just like Gregory Peck from To Kill a Mockingbird. Andy Hibbert just looked, he was head of his law class at KU. But I loved going to their house because me, little Kansas me, growing up, you know, in this little rural town, they opened a world to me. And that's what we need to do by sharing our stories, is we need to open the world to people and let them see that the thing they most fear, they're just people just like us, you know, we all want the same basic things. So good for you. Okay, last thing, the men in your life, what do they think about all this?
Go ahead, guys.
mine loves it. Mine, he works for a global company, and he's gotten people in Europe to buy it.
Well, good for him.
He tells everybody about it.
Oh, that's
He's
so sweet.
One of our good salesmen.
That's great. So anybody else want to jump
Yeah,
in?
go ahead, guys.
So I
My-
started writing, I was going to say,
Go ahead.
sorry, Jean. I started writing this, Fran, I started writing before I was divorced. And now I'm divorced. Not that writing a book is a cause for divorce or any reason like that. But, you know, I can't say about any men in my life because I don't have any. So, you know, there's always, you know, I'm looking for options to share.
That's right. Look at all these hot women here. How many of you are married and how many of you are single?
Married.
I'm married.
Okay.
Jean and
So
I
three of us,
have-
we're single.
Common law.
Well, anyway,
So
we
what
are,
yeah. Can I just loop one other thing back in, because it just made me think of it. So when Kim was saying, you know, about not a lot of books out there for women of our age and everything. So I think one of the things to kind of tie Novel Woman 1, Novel 2, and soon to be 3 is that the messaging is that middle-aged women, we actually got it going on.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, we got it going on. So, and it's sort of like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants meets 50 Shades of Grayer Hair. So,
you know what?
Say that again, Denise. Say that again.
50 Shades, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants meets 50 Shades of Grayer Hair.
Yeah, I do the self color. I'm sorry, I couldn't handle it. The COVID era had to go. But it's true, you know. And somebody said, "Oh, wouldn't you give to be 17 again?" No way.
No way. No
No.
way.
I wouldn't mind the body, though.
Yeah.
Ah, I'm sorry, you know. I finally am comfortable in my
Right.
own skin. You know,
That's right.
it took me 7 years to get through my divorce, to
Right.
get over the sorrow of that. But now I look back on, you know, everything that's happened since then. My life has turned out pretty great, you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Awesome.
Amen.
I sold the book to DreamWorks, and that's kind of gone on the back burner because of all this COVID. So there's something else in the works that's pretty great. But, you know, I've got this new grandson. I've got all these girlfriends that just rally around me. I've got all these author guy friends that just support me. And, you know, this world is too short to worry
Yeah.
about. I shut that door and I turn the key, you know.
Yeah.
And now I just want to have fun, you know. I'm just like
Amen.
Cyndi Lauper. I just want to have fun. I want to dance. I want to have a little wine. I want to be with my girlfriends. I want to read books. I want to watch great movies and have this gigantic slumber party that we're going to have coming up in January. So who wouldn't want to join our book club? I mean, come on. Are we
Everybody
not the
wants
funnest people
to.
in the world? I mean, if you want to have fun, join us. Join the Jersey chapter and join the Pulpwood Queens International Book Club. We hope you all do that. And as soon as this is over, this is all going to be it's recorded and it will download. I'm going to put it up on my Kathy L. Murphy
Okay.
channel on YouTube. And what's yours called, Kim?
Middle-aged nuts.
Middle-aged nuts.
Just can't help myself.
Is that what it's really called? I gotta get a drink of coffee on that one.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I need to hang out with you guys more. That's great, Middle.
Yes, we're being behaved right now.
You know what? You know, somebody said to me, "Well, that wasn't very politically correct." And I said, "I've already done that my whole life. I'm no longer politically correct. I just want to have fun, and I just want all my friends to join me. So join us all, everybody. Thank you, girls. Any
Thank you.
last thoughts you want to share?
After
Anybody?
middle-aged nuts, there's nothing to say.
Just made my day. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you, everybody.
So
for joining us.
our book, here's one last thing. Our
Okay.
book is a love note to our friends and to the other women out there. It's
That's
our
right.
love note to them.
Power to
Love you guys.
the Pulpwood Queens. Here we go. Okay, everybody. Night, you all. I'll be in touch.
Night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bugs. Bye.
Bye.
Everybody. Awesome. Middle-aged nuts, you guys.